What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. We've got a crazy video for you guys today. Is Uber taking more from our surge pricing? This will be a fun one. Before we jump into this, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Solo. Solo is a great app that just simply gets drivers paid more. It gets you access to guaranteed pay, which is an incredible feature. And on top of that, they say the average solo driver makes at least an extra $5K a year. One of the best parts is they're gonna give all our viewers $10 just for signing up using the link in the description below. So check it out, guys, and let's jump into this video. So I've theorized this for a long time that, you know, it's not that hard to figure out. If you ask your customer like what they paid for a surge ride, they'll tell you some crazy amount that you make like maybe $5 extra for, but probably not even that much. So listen to this. Ken Parks, an Uber driver in the Memphis, Tennessee area for over 2 years, explained the base on his experience of surge pricing. If riders are charged surge pricing, for example, a ride that normally costs $10 is raised to $30, drivers only receive an extra $2 or $3 from that surge. Drivers' wages are not directly tied to surge pricing, so we end up getting the short end of the stick, said Parks. They are charging surge rates to riders and drivers. See, Uber takes over 50% of the fare. At the end of the day, we are trading wear and tear on our vehicles for exactly 6 cents over the federal mileage write-off, and that's after 3 years of consistent rate cuts. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi-Suhu, whose total compensation from the company decreased from $42.4 million in 2019 to $12.2 in 2020, and I think that's still what it's at, recently argued that claims that drivers were receiving decreased shares of fares increased were false, citing proportional statistics to data Uber has refused to publicly disclose on drivers' earnings. Oh my gosh. His comments were a response to a Washington Post article where drivers in California argued their loss of control over rides and pricing has essentially resulted in pay cuts, which is like, there's no other way to say it. That's true. Like, it sucks because we can't prove it because they removed our ability to prove it, and then they also won't release it because it's true. Like, everybody knows it's true. A spokesperson for Uber declined to provide further details on the data cited, but added in a statement, surge pricing is designed to balance supply and demand in our marketplace. It goes into effect automatically when there are more riders in any given area than available drivers, blah, blah, blah. For riders, it's a premium. Demand decreases as some riders wait for more drivers to become available, and the marketplace rebalances. For drivers, it's an incentive to serve busier areas. So while rider pricing and driver pay are calculated separately in the US, more surge leads to more earnings by design. And it's not the point though. Like, the point is that we're not getting our fair cut of those because we also suffer more in surge pricing. A lot of times in surge pricing, we're stuck in traffic. A lot of times in surge pricing, we can't give rides as fast. So if we're hauling you know what to get to the surge area just to then get stuck in traffic, or if like we accidentally to get a ride that leads to surge pricing, odds are like we should get paid even more because those rides, I would say statistically, probably take longer to do. That's not how Lisa Zambri-Hull, a full-time Uber driver in Pittsburgh, sees it. She said support services for drivers such as hub centers and support lines have been cut, and drivers aren't paid for tasks such as returning lost items left in their cars to riders, or fully compensated for cleaning fees, or at all for car maintenance. I'm making less now than during the middle of the pandemic. I've driven the whole pandemic and after, and wages were better before it and in the middle of it. Since then, too many drivers are returning to work and there are not enough passengers to merit it, she said. Surges are down for drivers while up for passengers. Where's all this extra money going? Who knows? Not to our pockets. Now that's another thing that I was very, 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 very confident was happening. And I knew this because my buddy who drives, one time, for example, we had our apps up at the same time, same exact area. He had a full massive surge map. I had nothing. And so I was like, okay, so only certain drivers are getting surging, like at certain times. I don't know how they're calculating that, but somehow they're doing that. And on top of that, I had times where I'd pick up passengers and they're like, man, this is an expensive ride. Is it busy out there? And I'd be like, no. And I'd be like, did you get charged like a surge price? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I didn't have a surge on my app. And they were like, I'm paying like $20 extra for this ride. And then I would end the ride and we would talk about it and I would get like $5 and he would pay like 40 or 50. So they're doing shady stuff and everyone knows it, but we can't prove it because they don't disclose anything. They removed our ability to see. And the only way we know is by talking to our passengers, which is kind of, you know, it's not something I always want to do. I do if it's like comes up or if it seems natural or I feel like they'll be okay with it. But this company, man, is rotting. So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out Solo, get $10 just for signing up. It really is an incredible app, and stay tuned for more updates.